I guess Lindsay here with Storybook Family Farm. So yesterday, Tracy and I had this big laundry list of things that we actually wanted to get done, and we accomplished a whole lot of none of them. Because I woke up with this idea, and like I'd been rattling around in my brain, like how we were going to renovate the house, and like what like legitimate plans we were going to do for like the flooring and stuff in here. Because in the dining room there is a pergo type laminate flooring that's a very dark wood tone, and it doesn't go with the aesthetic that we're putting in the entire house at all. And it's also in the bathroom as well, and it doesn't flow with any of the design elements that we have, or any of the things that we want to do in the house, or anything of the sort like that. But we had thought, why should we bother changing it now, because of the fact that it is, decent, it's in good shape. It's not our style, but it's functional and stuff, and we have so many things on our plate that it's really hard to figure it out and stuff as to what to do first and all that. But so I kept getting hung up on what kind of flooring to put in the living room that would somewhat flow into the dining room, and then in the kitchen we needed different flooring as well. And I really, really, really liked when we were living in the camper, I had remodeled the whole space to have the exact same flooring throughout the entire camper. And it made it feel a lot bigger, more spacious, more expansive, and it just gave it all a really nice cohesive flow throughout the entire thing. And we just really liked it and stuff. So I ran it by Tracy yesterday morning, because I had just, I'd been rattling around in my brain, like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And I kept like getting stuck. That's why we haven't really moved forward much. Plus, we were waiting on jacking up the house more, so we really couldn't move forward until things got more leveled up. And the house doesn't seem like it wants to be lifted anymore, because kind of in the seams of this wall here is what needs to be lifted right here, and also over here. Don't mind our tote with chicks in it. If you guys hear chirping, it's just the little chicks that we hatched out. So this wall here is a load-bearing wall, and it is, kind of in rough shape, but it works. It's hideous. Everything in the living room is hideous. This is, like I said before in previous videos, this is the worst room of this house. And it is the first room you walk into, and I assume it's probably what caused us to be able to buy the house at a bargain, is because it scared the bejesus out of anybody that walked into it, because it's, kind of bad. So I had ran it by Tracy yesterday. I said, hey, what do you think about us actually just tearing up that flooring that's in the dining room and just laying new flooring throughout the entire level? So then that way the lighting in here is so wonky. I'm sorry, guys. So that way the entire house has the same exact floor throughout the first main level. It has a nice flow through it. It will make it feel a lot bigger, more expansive and stuff. And then we don't have to keep battling of what the heck do we do with the dining room, because it doesn't flow with any other flooring choice that we're going to make and stuff. And she's like, I think that's a great idea. Let's put in motion that's what we'll do. And I was like, okay, why don't you look and see if Menards has their 11% rebates going on again? They didn't. But they did have a really nice looking flooring on sale that the sale ended yesterday. Like that, yesterday was the last day of the sale. And we were looking at it, and then we had seen that they also had paneling on sale as well. They had a mail-in rebate of $3 off a sheet, and it was already relatively cheap paneling. So it was, I think, regularly like $18, like $17.99. So we ended up with once the rebate comes back in, it ended up being like $14.99 or something like that a sheet, which is a really good price. For those of you that don't know, to get a sheet of drywall that is about the same, it's the same size, it's 4 foot by 8 foot section, it's about $12 a sheet. So it's relatively comparable in price, and then it also saves a lot of time, energy, and effort that we don't have to do all of the finishing of the drywall, because I can do that. I'm not a super huge fan of it, and I also am not a big fan of drywall. It creates so much dust to do anything with it, and it's just not my favorite job. So Tracy's like, okay, well, this sale ends tomorrow. We have the truck. We have, everything's running with it, because it's an old truck. It's an old farm truck. Has a lot of problems sometimes, like, old vehicle stuff. That's why it's a farm truck. But so she's like, the truck's running good. We just got new tires on it. Like, let's go. We can just put it on the Menards card. We can just get it now while it's on sale and all this stuff, and, be done with it. So we went and we picked up the flooring, which I will show you guys here. And this is the flooring that we chose. I don't know how well it's going to show up. So on the picture on the box, it does not look quite the same as it does in real life. we did open up a box and pulled a bunch of the pieces out so we could see it. So it is, like in the picture here, it looks like it's a very tan type of color, but it actually has a lot more gray tones to it in real life, but it does have some tan tones, which will be nice because right now, like when we first got the place, the floors were painted like a brown, well actually I'll just show you guys because there's a spot that I couldn't paint because we were moving in when I painted. So it was brown and had white paint on it and stuff from previous paint jobs, and it just is in terrible shape. So what I did right before we moved in, because we have 4 dogs, and I knew that once we moved in, there'd be no way to repaint this, and we would be stuck with whatever it was. So I had some black floor paint, because that's what we painted all the floors upstairs, because they were all painted white, and white floors do not go well with a farm. Like, but so I painted all of the floors black in here, just so then that way it gave a much nicer finished appearance and stuff, and it just didn't feel so gross and grimy. Well, because, like I said, we live on a farm and stuff, you can see every bit of dirt, dust, everything. And with heating with wood, it makes it so you can see all of the little wood chips, all of the things, and it's a nightmare. Even with sweeping every single day, like it looks gross because there's also scuff marks in the paint and just not very pleasant, not very nice, not very pretty. So we've been pretty much itching just to figure out a flooring situation for the living room so we can get done with having to deal with looking at a floor that even after you mop it, it still looks dirty because the paint is messed up. So anyways, so this flooring is actually going to look a million times better than what we have in here currently, and it's going to be really nice to have it be the same flooring throughout the entire house. So with that being said, it was on sale for, I can't remember if it was $1.29 a square foot or $1.39 a square foot, and it is the 100% waterproof vinyl planks. So it's not peel and stick, which I've done a lot of peel and stick stuff before. I've never done these click together vinyl plank things, but they already have the underlayment attached to the bottom. So that's going to make it really nice. So that way I can, do all this stuff. When I was a kid, I did help my dad install a pergo laminate flooring, but that was, almost 20 years ago. So, which kind of seems crazy that I'm that old that something was 20 years ago. But anyways, so this is the paneling that we actually bought. It's just a standard paneling, just a standard pattern of the stripes. So our plan with this is actually to hang it vertically, so the stripes are vertical. And the ceilings in here are 9-foot ceilings. So the paneling is only 8 foot. So what we decided that we would do, because trying to find a good spot to show you guys, I'll just come over here where the lighting is still just as equally wonky in here. It's a really gloomy day out and it's raining and it's just kind of yucky out. So every time I walk by a window, the camera keeps auto changing it. But so this house, it has the original baseboards still. So they are like a 5-inch or 5.5-inch. I don't remember which. Tracy measured yesterday. Didn't pay attention. But so they are thicker baseboards. So our plan is actually to pop the baseboards all off to basically, instead of mounting the paneling all the way down at the bottom of the floor, we're going to put it so it's just barely underneath the baseboard. And then we are going to drop, when we put in the ceiling, because we're not leaving it as open rafters and stuff for the upstairs. When we put in the ceiling, we're actually going to drop it just a couple of inches. And then when we put the paneling up, we are going to essentially create a gap that's about 2 inches wide. And then we're going to put a chair rail up, so then that way we can make it look like it's so that way it looks kind of like in the dining room here, how there is the the wainscoting effect right here. So that's essentially what we're going to do, but we're going to use the wainscoting effect of the trim here to give us a couple more inches. So then that way we don't have to basically cut each piece of drywall, cut a foot strip off of it, so then I could add it to the wall, because that's going to be a really ridiculously big pain in the butt. And I don't want to do that. So that is our plan with that. We are probably going to paint the bottom half of the paneling so that way it does flow cohesively, because the dining room has the wainscoting in the stairwell going upstairs here, has the white on the bottom wainscoting, and then in the laundry room, which is attached to the kitchen, that also has the wainscoting on the bottom that is eventually going to be painted white. We did paint it the same greenish color that we painted the cupboards, and I think it's too intense of colors in there. So to make it so that way the whole house flows nicely together, we're going to repaint that to being white, just so that way it creates a nice cohesive flow. Now, I have done a little bit of work. If you guys have been watching our channel from the beginning of us getting this house, like 11 months ago, I did recently do this project here of creating a niceness to the wall. So when we got this place, there was a big, huge, mega hole in the wall right in here. It was kind of gnarly, so I had promptly covered it up with some drywall, and then the last warm up that we had, I took advantage of the warm temperatures outside and not having to have a wood burner going, so I ended up putting up this sort of like a feature wall type of thing with just some wood, and then I also created a nice little wood mantle here. For those of you wondering, this does not get hot. There's nothing hot over here. Even when we have a big raging fire, you can still put your hand on the wall and on the bricks without like being hot. The bricks do get a little bit warm, but not any. It's not even as warm as like you'd like to wash your hands with and stuff if it was water. So I mean, it's not any sort of danger. Where the chimney pipe goes through the wall there, it is a triple wall thing, so it is cool to the touch all the time. So it's no big danger there. So don't freak out in the comment section when you see that there's wood over in there. And the wood burner is like over 2 feet away from the wall, so it's got plenty of clearance and stuff. So my plan for today is to actually work on running some electrical stuff upstairs in our room, because upstairs in our room there is, I don't know if you guys will be able to, I don't think you'll be able to see it on camera, but right up here there is a electrical line that goes up. It's a newer line, not like new. I didn't put it in. Previous owners put it in probably in the late 90s. So I'm actually going to tie off of that upstairs because our room actually only has one outlet in it, and it is not in a very good spot. So I'm going to tie into that and then put an outlet up over here, so that way on my side of the bed I can have an outlet, and then from there, while the ceiling is still completely exposed, I'm going to run a line to go to the other side over here, so then that way in the future when it's time to put a light switch in our room, then the electrical is already going to be right over there, and then I can also just for now stick a lamp right when you first walk into the room, so that way you can just turn a light on as soon as you walk in, because as it is right now, it is a huge pain in the butt because the door's over here, then the lamp is all the way like over here, so which in relation with being in the living room, it's kind of wonky to see, but you have to walk all the way through the whole bedroom, around the bed and stuff, and pretty much trip over anything that might be in the way, including the bed and stuff, just so that way you can turn the light on at night, and it's getting to be ridiculous. So that is my plan for today, is to actually run the electrical and then work on taking down this 2x4 here that suspended the old drop ceiling from it. So then I can take down the 2x6 that's behind my head, and then in front of me on the ceiling over there behind the TV is another 2x6. So I'm going to try to take all of that stuff down today. So then that way when Tracy gets home from work, she can help me take the TV mount off of the wall, because that is definitely a 2-person job. It was almost a 3-person job to get it up there, because it was a really difficult position and situation to get it there. Then once we got it up there, we realized that we didn't put it in the right spot either. So it's kind of going to be cumbersome. But so then once that's out of the way, it'll be easy to take that 2x6 down. And then after I get all of the prep work done, so that way everything's ready for when Tracy gets home to help, then I will work on taking trim boards off of like the wall behind me, and then like the door frames and that sort of a thing. So it's definitely a messy, dirty sort of day, but it's going to be a very, very productive day, and I'm really excited because I'm getting really annoyed with looking at how these walls look like that. That's why I've said this room is definitely the worst room in the house, because it's like all the walls are this way. At some point somebody put spray insulation in, which I'm really thankful for, but there's, the telltale holes in the wall, which I don't, those round holes right over there. It's so weird watching your finger move on the camera and stuff, because everything's like mirrored and it's backwards, so it's kind of wonky. But so it's very frustrating to keep staring at things like this in ginormous mega eyesores all of the time. And, anytime that somebody comes over to visit or anything, I'm like, oh yeah, don't look at the living room. Like, it's pretty, like, I know you're walking through it, but don't judge us on this. Like, this is a wintertime project, and it's wintertime. So I'm excited to finally have the ideas nailed down and to actually be able to get started on getting this conquered, because like I said, it's been bugging us a lot. It's hard to relax in a room that's designed for relaxing when you're staring at, you know, big gaping cracks and gnarly finishes on drywall and just... But anyways, so if you guys are enjoying this content, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.